morning, pumpkins. How are you? Let's take a look at something. Let's see. Give me a moment. It is Sunday, August 20th. It's 10:49 p.m. Where am I at? I'm in the Pacific Coast. It's 10:49 in the morning. I hope you're all safe out there. Knowing that there's a what do they call that? A tropical storm on the way. I'm trying to get this situated. I have created my own tracing light. Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I have created my own tracing light. This is just a simple plastic container. You can get these anywhere at 99-cent store. They're just simple plastic containers. And inside there is just an LED light. You see that LED light, which I paid less than $4.99, and it comes with a switch so I can dim the light or make it bright. Why am I showing you? And this is just a piece of plexiglass that came from a picture frame that I got at the secondhand store for like 10, 20 cents. So this is all on top of this box. And that's how I create my own tracing lights. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a tracing light. So don't do that when you can make it yourself. I had times even got a simple light bulb, an old lamp that I didn't like, and I took it apart and I just kept the light bulb part. You can do the same thing with a simple little small light fixture. So here is a piece of material that's going to be my foundation, and I want to trace this image onto my foundation piece. You see how you can see that? Okay, let me see if I could turn down my other light just a wee bit, and might have to put the tracing light. Oops, I turned it off. So pardon me, let me turn it back on. And let's see if you can see that. Let's see. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if my tracing light moved. I think you see it a little better. I didn't highlight this really dark, as you can see, because this is what they call parchment paper. I could get a marker and outline it a little darker if I wanted. So this is just a simple little ruler that you can get anywhere at a anywhere really. Nowadays they have office supplies just about anywhere you want to go. You know, where they sell supplies like for paper, scissors, and things of that nature. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS. A lot of these stores have um, office supplies and stuff like that. And this is just a piece of material. Um, Actually, it's a sheet, and you can buy sheets at Amazon when they're on sale. The best time to buy sheets is after Christmas or a little before Christmas, before the Christmas rush. And I tend to buy maybe 5 or 6 sets. Ones that are always in this neutral color, because I then take them and cut them up and use them as material for my foundation pieces. Normally, when you make this log cabin, that's what this is called, a log cabin pattern. Normally, you would paper pieces. You would use paper, newspaper, just paper. But you know, paper is expensive. Who wants to spend lots of money on paper when you can get sheets and utilize sheets? So again, I'm going to get my ruler. My outline is here because I want to create this effect. Hold on. I'm gonna show you that I've already done one. And there it is. There is my log cabin. And what I'm going to do is number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait a minute, I did that backwards. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you should have a pattern similar to what I'm going to show you in a minute, like this. After you've created your log cabin pattern, you're going to then start placing your first piece down. That is what they call the fireplace. And then you then overlap the number 2 onto the 1, right sides together. This is the stitch line. You would add a stitch. After you do that, you're going to flip it over, wrong sides together. Then you're going to get another piece, which is number 3, and you're going to overlap it on 1 and 2, right sides together. And these little lines right here are the stitches. You'll stitch it, then overlap it, wrong sides together. You'll get your next piece, which is number 4. You're going to overlap it. It has to be this size. You overlap it and lay it right here between 1 and 3. Then you would stitch it, flip it over, wrong sides together. Then you get your next piece, which is number 5, and then you're going to lay it right here between 1, 2, and 4. It should be right sides together. Again, you're going to stitch it. That's your stitch line. After you stitch it, you flip it into the wrong sides. And you continue doing this. Here's number 6. You would cut a piece this big, overlap it between 5, 2, and 3, and then stitch across a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and then overlap it, fold it, and it'll be wrong sides together. Then you get to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And you should come out with a beautiful, beautiful piece like this. That was all scraps. These are just all scrap materials, pieces and remnants from quilts that I've created. And I used to throw these away. For years, I used to just take these and throw these away. I threw away a big box that was at least 3 feet high. It was one of those storage moving boxes, and I was just throwing these away. Last year, I threw a whole box like this away with beautiful, beautiful pieces of material, and I didn't know what to do with them. I set it out at the front, and that was gone with several hours. Somebody, to them, was treasure. And I didn't know why. I said, why would somebody take all that material? But they had to have known a lot about quilting. So how I came about to this is I have a lot of books on quilting patterns, but I really never looked at them because it looks complicated. And they have it that you have to understand a lot of the quilting um, lingo, which is very interesting to learn. And I started doing that. But instead of them, they have it a whole different figure, a whole different way of numbering. Some go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I just thought a number system worked better for me. And that's what I did here, where they had A1, A, B, all these different methods. I said, why don't I just put numbers, 1, 2, 13, and I can follow that. I went on YouTube and I learned a lot about I am still learning. I learned a lot about different methods, and there's variations of the log cabin as well. So this is how I do that and how I trace it. It's quite simple, to be honest. I lay my ruler down. I'm following the lines that I have underneath. I'm using a simple pen, and I've used pens for years, and I have never run across where it ran through the colors of the material. So I'm just probably very lucky. But I also use very cold water when I wash these quilts. Or launder them. And all I'm doing is following the vertical lines first. I can see right through this. I'm sure you probably can't see it very well, but it's really bright. It's really, really bright for me. Okay, so I've done the vertical lines. Now I'm holding it down with my hand, and if it moves, you already know where all these lines are at. So it's not hard to lay that back down. And these blocks are 5 inches wide, 5 by 5s, 5 inches all the way across. And then I have a little bit extra, so that's 1/4 of an inch. So they're 5 1/4 of an inch wide. And I have my um, automatic die cutter that cuts these blocks out for me. It really saves me a lot of time. The die cutter is very expensive, so it took me almost 3 years to save that kind of money. They're way over $500, just to give you an example of um, how much they cost. And then the die cuts themselves, the plates, they are not cheap. They run over $100 and something just for one. I'm not talking about you're not getting a bundle for that. You're paying $100 and something for just one die cut. I believe the long cabin is $149. I purchased 3 of them and they were over $49 each. So just $150 for 3 die cut plates. You have to really, really, really like or really love making blankets. I looked into an organization called the Linus Project and I contacted the coordinator because I told her I was interested in making blocks and making quilts for their organization. And she texted me back immediately that following day. That to me is pretty awesome. And she gave me all the information. And they don't make huge blankets. They make blankets more for comfort for children who are terminally ill, and some adults and adolescents. So that is something I'm getting into. So see how many I made? This is, I believe, I didn't count them, but every once in a while I shift. So, but still I know exactly where to start. And I have 7 more of these yellow pieces to go. And that's going to keep me really busy today. I start off creating my foundation piece. My first foundation piece I made was, it was a pineapple quilt that I made for somebody. What did I do my pen? Over 30 years ago. And I've been doing this way. And I started paper piecing at first, but it got very tedious having to remove all the papers one day it took me almost 5 days to remove all that paper, and I said to myself, I don't think I want to do foundation, these kind of patterns. And then after trial and error, because that's what it is, it's all a learning experience, I said to myself, why can't I just use material, um, this kind of material? Muslin works really, really good. I use muslin when I'm creating um, clothing. It's really good for pattern. For They use muslin a lot, so I always have muslin in my material. When I see it on sale, I buy it by the yards. They're on at least 5 yards, so I already got 3 stacks of those, and I like to use that for foundation piece as well. And you see, this doesn't take very long. They have pins, they call washable pins, and I used to buy them, but when you iron these pieces, you start ironing your pattern out. So that's when I said, oh, I better not buy these um, washable pins, because when you iron them, heat will remove all the pattern away. So I learned that, and that's why I stick to basic pins, just basic pins. I used to have a tracing light that cost me over 60 something dollars, and then the light bulb blew out, and the price of the light bulb was never that expensive, but now the light bulb is like 100 and something dollars, and I'm like, that is way too much money for a tracing light bulb, when that's about how much I paid for the tracing lamp. At the time, they used to only be like $49. Now they're really raising the prices on these tracing lights. But I'm showing you how you can make your own. So there was my demonstration, and what I'm doing today, I've got all these stacks. Again, this is sheet material that I purchased at Amazon, and I'm utilizing for that. So I have already 26 of these blocks done. With the new blocks that I'm creating, that's 26. So I should have 52 blocks when I'm finished, and that's not a very big blanket. That's more of a lap quilt. So I'm contemplating on just making a little lap quilt. And I also am learning that you could buy strips material, and I didn't know that. All these years I've been making quilts because I use the strips for binding. And I've been looking at YouTube, and I'm like, you can use strips, buy the big long strips. They come like in 3 yards. Some of them are a yard, some of them are a yard and a half, and they're really long. Some of them are really wide. Some of them, they go like from X wide inches, and then they go as small as 1.5. And you could use those for creating quilts. So I already purchased 2 of them. I already have them, but I bought solid colors. And I also bought some 50 10 by 10 square prints. So the reason why I bought 10 by 10 is because I can cut 5 inches, 5, 5, 5, 5, because it's 10 by 10. So you got 5, 10. Well, I don't have it with me right now, but they're actually really big, wide, fat quarters is what they call them. I'm sorry. They're fat quarters. So when you fold them in half and you cut them, you've got 5 inches on each side. And these are prints. They're going to look really lovely with this new quilt I have in mind, and I am really excited about that. So again, this is lots of leftover material from projects that I've already completed, and these are going to be utilized for the log cabin that I have over here. And just to look at it, how pretty that is. This is a cow, but somehow I couldn't get his whole head in there. But these were little pieces that were left over. I don't think I have I've utilized a lot of that. See? It was a huge print of cowboys, etc. And I'm utilizing all these pieces and incorporating them into my quilt. See? There were little pieces like that. And they're really cute to add them to your design. Then I had this big piece of football and basketball, and I only have a few of these left because I've been utilizing them. So I save all the little pieces that I have and I incorporate them into here. This was just airplanes and bicycles. It's like the Roaring Twenties. And I incorporated that into this little pieces that were left over from another quilt that I had. And I'm trying to find that one. I can't find any more of that. I think I have a piece somewhere. There it is. Here's a piece. There's very little bit of pieces that I have left. But this is from I believe, not the Roaring Twenties, like the 18th or 19th century, or the turn of the century. But look at that, how I incorporate these little pieces into my log cabin. So again, thank you for joining me. Have a fabulous Sunday. And be safe. There's a storm watch in the region of California, Baja California, heading towards Nevada, um, all that area. And so I'm already stocked up on everything I need. I always stay stocked up just in case of an emergency, because you never know when anything can happen. Bye bye, everybody. Love y'all.